That's good. That's how the best conversations happen.
Totally, absolutely. Okay, think
Cool,
we
we're
are
live.
live.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Hello. We'll just see if a few people join. You're in Cape Town, hey, Sacha?
I am. It's been chilly down here the last 2 weeks, but now the last 2 days we've had some fantastic weather. So it's been amazing. We've been so lucky.
Okay, great.
Apparently, us Cape Townians don't do well with the cold. So
There's a rumor that you guys don't go out in winter.
Oh,
when it's raining, but it doesn't rain enough, so it's not really a problem. We're happy when it rains.
Annalise, hello. She's our first viewer for tonight. All right, let's kick it off.
Awesome.
Guys, hello. Welcome to Pawz People. I am Antonette and
I am Retha, and welcome. We are so happy to have you join us tonight.
Thank you for having me, and it's awesome to have a little chat. My name's Sacha. I'm here on behalf of LickiMat the brand, and here for a chat.
Brilliant.
Looking forward to it.
I remember, I think, Sacha, it was end of 2020, maybe 2021. Was that when LickiMat came into South Africa?
Yes, so it was a tricky time. I was actually offered the brand in South Africa a little while prior to that, and I turned it down. This was all pre-COVID, so life was slightly different then. So you didn't think you needed sort of that second form of income, and you sort of saw things differently. But as COVID, as we sort of made our way through those COVID months, and which turned into a year, I realized it's probably not a bad idea to diversify, and I wanted to do something that I really believed is a good business per se. It's an easy way to say it. I think a business where there is true enrichment and giving back. It's not just to make money, but also to improve the lives of pets and pet owners. And LickiMat was at the forefront of that, I guess, and it's been an amazing journey. It's not what my background is at all. I'm not a business. I didn't study any business. I didn't do any sort of formal business prior to that. I come from a creative background, so my approach was very feeling my way through the dark as I was trying to get it all off the ground and going. But it's been awesome.
Yeah. My husband always says we're going to catch giraffes. We don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it.
Yeah, that's my daily.
Very good on that one. So for anyone that is only being exposed to LickiMat for the first time tonight, give us a short sentence of what is LickiMat.
A LickiMat is a pet enrichment product to help reduce anxiety and slow down feeding. Now, there's a lot of information encapsulated in those short words, which I'm just going to elaborate a little bit on. A LickiMat is I'm going to, just as an example, like a LickiMat, this is a very simple little product with multi-use applications. We don't only make these, we make a plethora of different products suited for all different applications. But exactly, you've got an amazing display behind you there. I've only got like a little box. I just brought a little box of tricks here, so I'm going to run through these, but at another time. But ultimately, what it's all come down to is helping to reduce anxiety and enrich your pet's life. And feeding is a sacred time for a cat and a dog. It is a huge portion of their life, and it is very valued, and it is at the center of most cats and dogs' lives. So to enrich that process, slow it down, make it last longer, and get the maximum benefit out of that process is essentially what the LickiMat was born from.
Yeah. I mean, it's often used for fast eaters, dogs that gulp their food. And so LickiMats are great for that. I know me and you have spoken often, and I use it for the Reggies for our rescues, because they just, you see it when they come in, and they just, if you focus them on that LickiMat and they start the licking, you can almost see the brain just kind of clicking back into its place, and the body just relaxes, because the dog can't learn when he's stressed. He just, he doesn't take anything in. So that's one of the reasons why I love the LickiMats, is for that calming thing.
Yeah, look, we noticed from all of our users' feedback, and we try and have a lot of conversations with people, especially pet professionals, and really involved, hands-on, knowledgeable individuals who can share and are willing to share with us and have these conversations. And what we noticed is exactly what you were saying: a very heavily food-driven dog or cat, but a dog especially, who is associating the food with survival, pure survival. If I don't get enough food, I'm in trouble, kind of thing. The LickiMat has been a crucial tool to divert that hyper focus on the food itself, and divert it away from the food, and rather getting it into the release of endorphin, the stimulation, the enrichment of the process of eating and feeding. And ultimately after that, it goes all the way into the grooming, and then soothing and calming and sleeping. Everything is better. The digestion, we can go on for a long time, but what we found is it's really helped to get intensely food driven individuals much calmer, slowed down, and less, they sort of just completely lose track of what they're doing and where they are sometimes. And this has been an incredible tool to sort of bring them back and get them grounded again, and calm, and a bit more focused on where they are and the enjoyment of the process.
It is actually quite amazing. So my beagles are gobblers. They're beagles. It's like all beagles are. And if I take that groom mats out, they all go and lie down and wait. The barking stops immediately. I always say it's feeding frenzy in our house. But when they see it's LickiMat dinners or breakfast, everything changes. And some of them in the beginning, when we started in LickiMat, they would look at me, and they would look at the mat, and they really clearly didn't know how to approach this. And now they know that this is going to be quality time, and there might be something special in store on the LickiMat for them as well. So it is. If I just have too much of noisy beagles, LickiMat is my go-to, because it really makes a huge difference.
And the effect is long lasting, even after the LickiMat has been completely licked clean, and they've sort of, I'm not going to say lost interest maybe, but when they're done with the LickiMat, now is when the real effect kicks in, and you start getting the benefit of it. You start noticing much calmer and more regulated individuals.
I'm just going to quickly interject here. Sorry, Retha. Yeah. I'm just going to say to our viewers that they must make sure that they interact tonight, because there might be some surprises maybe during the show. And then also I see Mavis asked a question, which I think ties in nicely. Will a LickiMat work for a patient after IVDD surgery to keep them calm? And I think you guys just launched a brilliant new product as well. Who mentioned it? Sonia. I think Sonia bought one. Yeah.
So to answer, can I just answer Mavis's question? I'll get straight into that.
Yes.
So I've actually got some of those products here. So we've got these amazing crate mates. I mean, this is a mini crate mate, and here's a larger one. It's still got the packaging on it, but it's a bigger brother and a little sister version of it. And the idea behind it is post-surgery, or crate trained dogs. These things clip perfectly onto the side of a crate. They just hook on, and you can tighten them. No spill. You've got these beautiful lips here that hold everything inside. You can load it up. It actually holds a lot more than you think. It's quite deep. And the calming effect of one of these loaded up is sort of the equivalent of a 20 to 30-minute walk. Now, if you've got a patient who is not allowed to move, has to rest, is forced into crate rest, recovery time, this is an ultimate tool for just mental stimulation, enrichment, and just keeping that dog sane and happy. It's a incredible tool, and we've had some super valuable feedback on these. We thought it was crate specific, and we thought, we'll put 2 little suction nibs here in case they have to stay outside or inside or car windows or something like that, which is fantastic. And all of a sudden we start seeing these being strapped onto arms and wrists like this for training. We see them, it just keeps going. Some of them have them on their stick, so they're walking like that, and then they just swivel the stick going that way for the dog and comes back again. So it's becoming a super versatile and valuable training aid. And of course, the Crate Mate, the name says it all. It's ideal for crate training and for calming and post-surgery. It's a win-win, no-brainer.
Yeah. I love that. I love how people just take a product and then just invent these uses.
Yeah, no, we see brilliant. It all, and it's what's driven the innovation in LickiMat as a brand. We've kept new products coming almost every year. We've had new products release, and it's all driven by customers. We're not here trying to invent something, sitting around a table as as a brand, but we are engaging with our customers and listening and asking what is needed and what people want.
Yeah, fantastic.
Totally, for me as well. I very often say to clients that when they walk into the store or when we interact with them, is that just because you've got one, it doesn't mean you need to get some more, because each one has got a different application. I find that there's different things that I use for different reasons for my dog. So it's a good motivation to say to clients, you don't just need to buy one, you can buy more, because it does give different stimulation and brain puzzles. So I really think that's great from your range, is the variety that you get and the new innovation that keeps on coming.
Yeah, we pride ourselves in the variety and being able to offer anything that has a need for it. So we there for that. That's our goal as a brand. Ultimately, that's what we want to do.
Maybe Sacha, just talk us through, because there's different surfaces and different textures. So maybe just explain a little bit why that is and the function of all the different textures.
Okay. So I've grabbed 3 minis here. I sort of knew we were going to get into this. So I got little ones because it's easier to keep them all together. So this is a mini size, and just to give you a comparison, this is a regular size. So a mini versus a regular. And I'm just using the minis as it's a good way for me to sort of talk through and show. I'm going to put this fairly close to the screen here. You can see the 3 different textures on those surfaces. So one is made up of nibs, the other is made up of crosses or plus signs, as you do, and then here we've got some squares, sort of pockets. And I should probably hold it in this order here. The idea behind this is, if you've got a really anxious, fast-eating, naughty, chewing, frustrated dog who really wants to try get at the treat quick, we always recommend to start with a play date like this. It does hold the treat very well, but it also allows the treat to be released without frustration. And the starting point is always to place the treat in the middle, just a small amount, and supervise when giving it to the dog for the first time. Watch it. The dog tries to go for the edges or pick up or drag or bite the mat itself. Just pick it up for a second, let the dog reset, and then put it down again, focusing back onto the treat in the middle. You'll be surprised how quickly they pick up that it's not about picking up the mat and running away and chewing it. It's about getting that treat out and licking. Once the dog knows what the LickiMat is, which they learn very fast, I always recommend you start moving up a little bit. So these are great for sticky. I would say actually this is good for anything that you can put on this mat, because it is the starting point for LickiMat users. I wouldn't say peanut butters and something that's too sticky and can be frustrating, especially for first-time users. If it's, dogs that know LickiMats well and they're well-versed, go for it. You'll be the judge and you know what works. But ultimately, a tablespoon of yogurt does the trick for me, and I start with that. Then I start moving over to a buddy like this. So this is a play date, this is a buddy, and this is a soother. That's the three licking surfaces that we have. And the buddy, it's a little bit more complex. It retains the treat a little longer and it extends licking time. But if you've got an individual that's very frustrated or very food driven or a gulper, they're going to maybe get a bit frustrated if you start putting peanut butters and really sticky treats in here. So stick with some the raw feed is brilliant, or even just a little bit of broth or something like that, getting them used to the surface here. And then really old dogs or very young but still calm dogs, these soothers are brilliant if you put in some yogurt or some broth or some mince or raw feed, anything like that you can spread into here. It has great treat retention and a nice slow release. So those three surfaces sort of encapsulate our licking surface range. After that, we just start changing the shapes, the sizes, and the design themselves of the products. I hope that made sense.
That is absolutely great, and it makes so much sense if you think about it and the different ways of sensory stimulation. So now that you've walked us through the range, tell us about care and cleaning. What is that is a very important thing, especially when you're a raw feeder, because remember, the bacteria is a big thing for most people. So tell us about care and cleaning for that.
So I'll take a little step back. We've got these. I'm going to go back to these minis because they're nice and small and it's easy for everyone to see on the screen. This obviously applies to the classics as well, which are the one size up. You can see the different sizes, right? They come in two styles. A classic, which is soft, pure rubber, the whole thing. And then the Tuff, which has got these little rubber nibs on the base. And it is a very, very strong, rigid TPE plastic formed base. The licking surface is exactly the same natural rubber as the soft product like that. So the licking surface remains the same. Gentle on the tongue, stimulating, easy to clean, doesn't absorb chemicals, bacteria, etc. The natural rubber is one of the most sustainable and durable products that we could find to make, and it's safe. You do get the naughty dog that does, chew a corner off or ends up nibbling a few of these nibs off, and it's not a problem. You never have to worry about that. So that's one of the main things that we get asked. And it's a bit of a problem for us, but the product lasts very long. So we're not selling through a lot. We're not getting too many people buying a second one because the first one, didn't last. But we're creating good products, and that's what we're priding ourselves with. To answer your question, Retha, these Tuffs, perfect in the dishwasher, absolutely no problem. You can stack them up. So if you're using LickiMats, buy 2 or 3 of them, and you can just rotate them through. The classics like this, we always recommend after use, just put them in the sink and put some water over so they soak, and then just with a brush and a bit of dishwashing soap, a basic clean. And then I do this when I'm done. I get the water out and I stand them up to dry, and they're perfect. What can happen after long use, a year or 2, if you're using it very regularly, you might get some discoloration, and that's perfectly normal. It's natural rubber, it's a natural product, and that's all that we've really noticed. Bacteria, warm water, and soap usually does the trick very, very well.
So I've got a question for our listeners, and I'd like to see your comments.
You guys do a little brush as well.
We do. We give away brushes from time to time when we have them in stock. They go pretty quick. We end up putting one in every order, so everyone gets a little brush to use. But any dish brush will work. I mean, we've got just a LickiMat dish brush, but it's technically just a little dish brush to use to wash it out. Anything gentle that's not scouring or removing any of the rubber. A steel wool or something like that will just be too much. So I would definitely recommend a gentle brush if you are going to use a brush on it.
So I've got a question for our listeners, and I want to ask: do you actually need to wash your LickiMat? Because mine is so clean after the bagels is free that I literally just soak it in hot water and it's done, and a little bit of soap. So just spam us a little bit with how you clean your LickiMats, and if your dogs do it themselves or you've got to intervene there.
Yeah, I have heard that quite a bit. Ours also ends up pretty clean.
My Irish Wolfhound didn't like to, if there was yogurt in the thing, she didn't like to, the fluid thing, she didn't like to lick that out. She would look at me like, okay, I'm done now, the meat is off. But then if I put some more meat over it, then it gets devoured as well. So, yeah, it really is a big favorite in our house. I can say that again. Antonette, are you there or are you gone?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here. I just.
Oh no, and there she's gone.
She's in and out, but that's all right. We're getting some great comments here from our listeners, which I love seeing.
Yeah, that is it. So I just want to quickly see. Yeah, so Leanne is saying something. It's a great idea to having more than one. And that's what I do. So I very often put stuff in and freeze it and have a few in the freezer and swap it out. So I'm prepared that if we forgot to take out food, because believe me, that happens a lot in the Van der Walt household, then I just grab a LickiMat, and they love licking up, playing with the frozen foods. So, yeah.
Well, I've actually got a question for you, Retha. You using, I mean, having the experience with the raw food, what is your go-to setup at home? I know you said you got beagles, and have you still got your Irish Wolfhound?
No, unfortunately, my Irish Wolfhound passed away a few weeks ago. Oh, actually, it's now already on, I think, how many episodes have we got, Antonette? 16, 17 weeks ago, yeah. Our very first episode.
15 today, so
15, yeah, so it's 15 weeks
it's a couple of months ago.
So I've now just got beagles, and they are all old. So they like 10. I've got one 10-year-old, and then the rest is 11 and 12. I only introduced LickiMat to them quite late, so they weren't used to it as puppies. And it was initially like the first time they really looked at me like, you want me to do what with this? So I then started off by just putting like a gobble of food on top of it and let them lick it, and then started spreading it out more and more. So the things in summer, what I do, what really works really well for me in summer is I will take the food, spread it out, and I put it in the freezer with some kefir and yogurt and blueberries and broth. Like I'll make an interesting mat on the LickiMat. I quite like I need to look because I can never remember the name. I like the Buddy. My dogs like the Buddy, and they also like the this one. It's a big favorite.
Yes. So the UFO is also brilliant. I call this the everything LickiMat. You can use it for just about anything. It's got great suction cups on the back. It's big enough for a whole meal, and it's deep, and you can take it with you. You use it everywhere you go. So yeah, I mean, it's my favorite product, and I think it's the best product we've made with regards to various applications.
This for me really is a much easier way to replace a Kong, because my beagles battles with Kongs, and the UFO for me is really a nice thing because I can fill it up quite a lot with their food and things, and I stuck it on the tiles or wherever I want them to stand and eat and do whatever they need to do, and they love it. So that is a big favorite for me. Another favorite that I do a lot, and I don't think I've got a yogi pot. I've got one left. The yogi pots are awesome.
Oh, they're brilliant.
But that really, it's also keeping them busy for a lot of time. So you've got 8 beagles. This is quite an investment that you're making. And I can tell you, it's the best investment that I've made in terms of feeding waste. So we will do LickiMats about 3 to 4 times a week, meals, they get that. Because I find that if I do it every day, they lose interest. So we alternate, and we do. I've got 4 different types, and they will get 4 different meals a week on a LickiMat, and it is absolutely awesome. It's an awesome way to give raw and get them to spend time with their meals, because otherwise it goes like and they inhale their food and it's gone. So yeah, so I'm a big fan of LickiMats. It's really a great product for us.
It's a good match for the raw food. I think
Yeah.
it couldn't be more applicable for our product range, and we see some of the best applications and uses and feedback cases coming from raw feeders and producers like yourselves with great ideas and use cases, etc. So yeah, we love it. I mean, we think it's the perfect match.
So we've got just one thing about our household. We've got a Weimaraner called Adam, but I call him ADDM because he's got ADHD, HDD, just what you want to call it, but attention deficit disorder is a real thing. So initially he grabbed the LickiMat and ran away with us for it because he was just so hyped with it. And currently, I was in Joburg over the weekend, and I was actually looking at him and his UFO, and I was just amazed at how much pleasure he's got and how he actually licks it, like, you know, when a child licks an ice cream with so much pleasure and so slow, whatever. And it just changed him into a total different dog. He is so much calmer, and it's like his brain had to really had to work to figure out how to do what he is doing. So I think for listeners that does not know or has not used it, guys, you know where to get it, because really it is a must. If you're a raw feeder, it's a must part of your feeding attire.
Yeah, I've also heard some raw feeders, they also find, you know, they're spending a little bit more money and they're starting to see the benefit of the quality of the food, but then letting it last a little bit longer as well is also, you know, there is that additional upside. You're getting better digestion, you're getting better use of the actual food and application of the food and intake of the food by the dog, which is it's a big benefit, you know. So we are starting to see that sort of feedback come through as well. That's another bonus.
There's another question here, and I think Antonette, maybe you can answer this one. Or Sacha, so how do you feel? Daryl is asking about how do you feel about the wobble bowl?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't used it personally, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, you know, wobble, I sort of place it into our premium, stimulating, truly enriching range. There's a lot of rubber. It's a very premium product. It can be used in the center there, the green one and the blue ones, exactly. So it comes packaged like that. It's a very simple product physically. Remember, you can use a wobble inside out as well. So once you've unwrapped that thing, you can flip it inside out. Don't do it now, but I'm gonna do it with this little guy. You can almost do this with it, and it will stand upside down as well. So you can then smear it with your raw food, freeze it again, and it will stand essentially like a dome instead of like a bowl. So it's got quite a multi-use option application as a product. As a bowl, it's brilliant because it really forces your dog to go slowly. It can't grab and take big mouthfuls. It's just licking and moving through, especially if you've got slightly petiter builds and you just want them to eat a little bit slower and take their time. They're not just swallowing the whole meal down. It's a really stimulating, enriching tool. Some dogs love it. I know some dogs get quite frustrated. They pick them up and they walk around. So I would not recommend it for the ones that get frustrated easily. What we often say is if you've got the wobble and you love the product, just sometimes the dog runs off with it or doesn't want to use it for what it's supposed to be used as, is flipping it inside out so that it's actually standing on the flat surface and standing as a dome and has been loaded up from the outside like that. And you can actually place it inside a keeper. It fits perfectly inside a regular keeper, which then pinches the base. First of all, the dog can't pick it up and walk away, won't be able to. Secondly, any mess that does come off just ends up in the keeper, and the dog has to work through the corners to get it out again. So it's like a win-win as well. So you start pairing these LickiMats up. It's amazing what you can make work with what you've got once you have 1 or 2 or 3 variations of the range. People get very creative with it. So we love seeing that. And the Wobble is one of those products being applied in very interesting and creative ways.
So I'm just having a little bit of a brain fart here. If your dog is not happy with it initially, a good idea, I think, will be to start off with just something like broth that is easy to lick up and drink up, and get him used to it, and slowly introduce the experience in, because I think this is all about an experience for our dogs.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. So just to essentially, I agree with you 100%. Broth, or just like a half a tablespoon of plain yogurt. You know, whatever you feel like is good for your dog that you want to give them. I wouldn't go too intense on the actual treat itself, something that they go crazy for. I would go with something slightly more bland and let the LickiMat be the reward, so that they're starting to associate the LickiMat with the reward instead of the actual treat itself, the licking. So when you unpack any mat that you receive from us, irrelevant of where you purchased it, the packaging itself sort of unfolds like this, and it runs you through like a very basic step-by-step guide on, first of all, how to load it up for the first time, you know, good practice on introducing your dog to a LickiMat. And then the question we already answered was obviously washing. It gives you some recommendations on how to wash, and then 1 or 2 recipes and things like that. So there is quite a bit of information on this. I know not everyone is into the whole reading, but there is quite a lot on here for those who do want to get a little bit more information.
Sonia is saying, tomorrow we're all going to flip our mats. You're right, Sonia. I'm definitely getting some wobble bowls for the beagles. They are getting some, definitely. I don't think I've got enough in stock. I'm going to need to place an order.
Yeah, Sonia's just saying tomorrow we're all going to flip our LickiMats. So we're all going to flip our domes, our wobbles.
Please do that and send us pictures and tag us on it, because it will be really good to see how your dogs react on it. We need videos, guys, videos.
Yeah, I mean, we love to see how creative people get with it, and it's really surprising. You often think, you know, this product's been used, it's old, whatever, people are bored of it, and it's not true. You know, we start seeing new and more creative ways of products being used all over the place, different applications, different animals. You know, we got a video of a horse being introduced to an XL soother mat on its stable door, and it was absolutely loving it. It was going mad for it, you know, and now that's its staple. It loves it.
Cool idea.
Yeah, so we're seeing it on all fronts. It's brilliant.
That is such a cool idea. I really did. So, which is your favorite LickiMat, Sacha?
From my side, I think the UFO is definitely my favorite. Just on versatility, it truly replaces a bowl. I mean, if you've got a Great Dane, this is too small to feed a whole meal. But for almost any other breed, you know, medium to small, it's the ultimate replacement for a bowl. It's the ultimate enrichment product. It's a true slow feeder, and you can use it for grooming, you know, grooming, shower, bathing time with these suction cups on the back, whether it's in a shower, in a bath. Long car rides, straight onto the car window, no problem. Keep them, you know, calm. Some dogs, they struggle in a car, especially if it's a longer journey. So this is, I think this is the best product that we make, and it's the most versatile product we make, and it is really premium. I mean, there's a lot of rubber in this. It's solid. You can chuck this in the dishwasher just how it is. You don't have to worry about it. The only thing with the rubber products, and this, I mean, this goes for most natural fibers in today's world, is don't leave them in the sun, because the sun will chew up anything that is natural like that.
Daryl is asking another question, and I think this is.
I'm going to try my luck here.
Are you there? Oh, she's frozen again. Okay, I'm going to ask Daryl's question. Daryl has asked, would you use more than one LickiMat at a time, like using the wobble bowl and the one that is flat
Sure.
next to it? will that be overloading or overstimulating the dog?
I mean, it really depends on the individual. I think if your dog enjoys the task and is a task-driven dog and is receiving a lot of benefit from the licking and is not so driven about the food, it can be tricky if it's like putting 2 bowls of food next to a dog. The dog doesn't know where to go. But if it really is in the task mode and it is enjoying the meal and it's getting through it, you'll find a relaxed dog will quite often just feed on the one, enjoy it till it's done, and then move over to the next. And it will just prolong the feeding process, which I think there's only benefit to that. There is no downside. It's going to increase or improve digestion. It's going to give better pre-digestion. So the saliva production goes right up as soon as you start drawing out that feeding process into a longer process. All that licking is creating a lot of or stimulating a lot of digestion. It's cleaning the tongue, it's soothing, it's releasing endorphins. It's essentially, it's a win-win-win. So the longer your LickiMats are being used, and if you've got more than one, by all means, I think load 2 up and give it a try.
I think you're true. It's definitely, I can just think off the first top of my head, I definitely have got 1 or 2 that I cannot do that. They will not know where to touch and where to go.
Yeah.
So it's like anything, your dog. So approach your dog with and test it, try it. The trial and error is what helps us discover new things that work.
Definitely.
Antonette, are you with us or are you back?
We can see you, but there's not much
I can't hear you.
audio coming through from time to time. She just drops out. But
she said she's going to get a T-shirt that say in and out because her
I am getting a T-shirt. I heard that.
The in and out lady
for Christmas.
Now you see you, now you don't.
And now I want to ask, before I go again, have you spoken about the dental benefits?
Not yet. We haven't touched on it.
No, the teeth cleaning benefits.
Yeah. So this is this is another thing that
I'll leave it there if I disappear.
we can talk about the benefits for a long time. It's such a long list and such a varied list depending on the individual, but it's definitely one of our main ones. Actually, the packaging that I just pulled out, it's the second point that we highlight on here, and that's for most of our mats. It is definitely right up on the list. It improves fresh breath, so it is actually improving the health of the ecosystem in the mouth, the gums, teeth, saliva production. You see, often you're getting a dog that is not drinking enough, they are dehydrated, the saliva production is too low, and you start getting severe bacteria buildup on the tongue, gums, and in the mouth in general. Licking, it promotes saliva production. It is scraping the bacteria off the tongue regularly. So, it is really a multitude of benefits when it comes to health points. And I think, when you start speaking to vets and other pet professionals, they've probably got far more to add as well. We think we've got it covered, but there's a lot more that starts showing.
I do,
and it's also, especially for us in Gauteng, with the weather like thunder and things like that, and when fireworks season start, it's getting them used to the LickiMats, and if you have to put a drop of something on there mixed in with the spread, or if someone comes to visit, especially over Christmas when lots of people are in and out, give them a LickiMat in a quiet corner and they can just settle and be left alone. So it's got lots of functional uses.
Yeah.
Very great to, if you've got some medicine or herbs or stuff that you want to put into your food, and it actually, I find that they don't really notice it if you spread it in there. It's just so much easy. Yeah, and it's a fun way because they like the LickiMat so much. So
it's not just bundled up with the food, but it's also giving the stimulation side of it a bonus. So it is really thing. We do promote it for any medication applications when it's needed, Also, you can often see if it's disappeared or if it has been taken off or not. So you can pinpoint it. If it is a medication like that, you can sprinkle it, etc. So it is a great way to prolong and making sure that it's being ingested.
Has any of our viewers has got specific more questions? Because you need to tell us if there's something that we have not. I'm trying to see if I've missed something.
Yeah.
So from I actually missed. I had a question and I don't know if I have. Where have I put it now? Sorry. So I need to keep notes because my brain runs off with everything and then I forget the most important things.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Miyagi's, I mean, the one comment here is, it's so relevant because a lot of dogs, as they start aging, they become quite difficult to care for and feed, and they start, some losing teeth, and it's tricky, So, and also they don't want to go for big long walks and get, all that physical stimulation. So the enrichment that the LickiMat offers, plus a stimulating platform in which they can get a meal instead of just a shiny, clean bowl. It's a multitude of benefits for the aging dog as well, which we also like to recommend.
How often people say, yeah, but raw is a faff. It's so much work and it's a real big faff. And I feel using a LickiMat makes it not a faff because it is easy. I take the thing, I plonk the food on, I use a spatula or even a knife or whatever, a back of a knife, and I just spread it thinly. And that is it. No fuss, no faff, and ready, steady feed type of scenario. So it is definitely not it's making life easier when
Sure
you
is.
feed.
I couldn't agree more. And I'm always, often people ask, so why? Why go raw and why LickiMat? That's what I often get. Why would you use it? You can just put it in a bowl and it's fine. The dog's getting the food. Or they go, I'll feed kibble, all the stuff's in the kibble, etc. And that's a whole nother, like a lengthy discussion. But what I always come down to is often, the feeding gets into such a monotonous rhythm and it becomes such a routine that you start losing the love for it. And the same goes for the dog. It's just getting the food in the bowl and then they gulp it down and then they lie down again and then that's it. Sometimes they, worst case scenario, they vomit it up or it actually starts creating bloating and all sorts of other conditions that get overlooked. It starts thinking, it's the wrong food or it's this or it's that. And I'm saying, well, if you feed raw, that's obviously one thing. You feed raw, you're getting the benefit of premium ingredients and what the dog actually needs. If you're feeding it on a LickiMat, he's going to eat it a lot slower and he's going to get the full effect and the full benefit of that food. Now, everyone's looking at the dog and I say, well, you as the owner, you get the full benefit of that as well. You get that calm, quiet, healthy, happy dog. Those are all those things that everyone is complaining to you about before when they say, I just want to come home and feed the dog and I want quiet time. I just need to be left, Sometimes that is the right answer to just go, have you tried one of these? And then once they try it, they realize this is the best thing ever, And I say, we always give deals. We always got these bundles. I say, buy 2 or 3 of these, buy a keeper. And then you just literally, you load it up. When you're making the one, you make tomorrow's one. You put it in the freezer, you put it in the fridge. The next morning, you take it out and you put it into the keeper. And you're just going. It's such an easy process. The benefit is multiplied, tenfold, which is, you start seeing it when you use it. And that's what we always keep trying to remind people. They're always thinking about the dog. And I say, just think about yourself as well, because you receive those benefits just as much.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Antonette, while you're around and not out, you've got a few questions. You're a few questions behind.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. One thing I wanted to say, I don't know if you've showed, I use the slow-mo. It's like the bone-shaped one. It's more of a slow feeder. So that's the one.
Exactly.
So
So
I use
Retha's
that.
got the big one. I've got the little one. She's got pink.
Yeah.
I've got red. But we're in the same
Yeah.
boat here. Yes.
Yeah, so I use that. Cara gets the pink one because she needs to lose a little bit of weight. Can you believe it, for a Ridgeback? So she gets that, and it really has slowed her down. So so she doesn't hopefully notice that I'm reducing her food.
Yeah.
And then our other girl, she was very old and she struggled to swallow. So I put her food on the slow-mo as well and raised it. And that seemed to help her with the regurgitation. She's unfortunately passed now, but that it did relieve some of her discomfort during eating, just the licking and the slower eating.
So it goes back to the initial thing that I said, what is a LickiMat? And I just have to remind, we're not just making like a classic lick mat like this. We've got such a vast variety of products for different applications. This is I want to call it a traditional slow feeder. It's got pockets. You're filling up, whether you're feeding dry or kibble or mixed or raw, it doesn't matter. You can fill this up and you are going to get the benefit of the dog is not able to gulp it down. They're going to have to just work their way through each individual pocket and get everything out, which is fantastic. They're designed for that. They've got these incredibly dexterous tongues and they work their way through it. We're on the third rendition of this product. These new ones now, you might be able to see this, but they've actually got little nibs inside those pockets now as well. So they're getting bonus stimulation while they're trying to, get everything out.
Yeah.
We're still trying to fine tune and tweak the products a little bit more as we go along. And we start getting feedback from the vets and the pet professionals and the raw producers and things like that. And we're going to keep going. This is the best part. We're also not just dogs. We've been having this conversation about dog mats and dog slow feeders. Cats is a huge portion of pet life today. People are mad about cats and the passion behind it. You see it when you go into some of the stores. You realize, wow, this is a big portion of the shop is dedicated to cat enrichment, food, wet, dry, raw. So, in short,
it's ideal for the cats
and dogs. That's
because of the whiskers, because there's nothing to touch. So
the only thing where I would say, where we're not doubling up a LickiMat product as cat and dog, I would say would be the more bowl-shaped one. So like, for example, a wobble, I would say a cat is most likely not going to want to feed off a wobble. That whisker fatigue, also having the face inside the rim of the bowl, a cat generally doesn't like that. It likes to be able to see its surroundings, doesn't want those whiskers to be stimulated while it's feeding. It generally even tries to tuck them back a little bit while they eat. Very, very sensory aware. So anything like a UFO or a crate mate with these deeper lips, I would say is probably more just for dog. However, every other product that is either a traditional style LickiMat like this, whether it's a mini, a Tuff, a Soother, a classic, or there's obviously an entire range of like cat dedicated products, it's called I think the Catster, and we made it with all sorts of like little things in here, like just to give them a little bit more to work on. This little dish here, and liquids and fluids, and then some paste stuff on here, and then more on the raw food side here. So it is really a versatile product. And in saying that, I know a small or medium dog that would love this just as much. It's brilliant for both, So the only thing that's different is the packaging, it has a cat on it. But all of our other products that are coming in traditional forms like this globally, they come with cat packaging. They're also designed for cats. We sell on the cat market just as much. South Africa, I didn't have the capacity to be able to hold a vast range of cat products in the traditional LickiMat sense. So we chose to stick to the more cat-focused products, if I can call it that. Rita, behind you, I see there's those fish-shaped ones.
We've got one.
Purple. And that's a LickiMat. It's just shaped and marketed, towards the cat lover. But ultimately, if you can't find one of those in the shop, a basic LickiMat, it's the same thing. It's going to have the same function, and that's what we try to create.
But well, speaking of cats and the LickiMat, I think like most cat parents know, cats can be very fussy when it comes to food, and when it comes to whisker fatigue and all these other things. I find that when we are really at the point where clients say just my cat does not want to eat, I say to them, have you tried a LickiMat? And 99% of the time I came back and said, how did you know? So, so it definitely does have an amazing effect for them as well. I think it's just stimulation and getting bored of food. This makes food fun again.
I couldn't agree more. And often, I've heard this as well quite a few times. I wouldn't say often, but a few times is the surfaces in bowls, you know, the metal surfaces and things like cats often don't want to eat off them. They think, oh, I'm going to give them a beautiful stainless steel shiny bowl. And this goes, you know, not for every cat, but some cats are really adverse to eating out of a metal shiny bowl. So they won't touch it. So that's already one step. You've already like eliminated a bunch of things like that. And then, you know, obviously as soon as you start going into the rubber finish, so it's a natural, it's a gentle finish on their tongue. It can also hold moisture, which I think a lot of cat parents just sometimes overlook. They think, oh, my cat doesn't drink out the bowl, it drinks out the toilet or out the fish bowl or out the sink or whatever like this. But there's a reason for that. You know, they're obviously feeling more comfortable drinking out of somewhere else because something's not right wherever they are being given their water. So this is becoming an increasingly popular format to also deliver fluids and water for cats, especially now that we've put a little we could actually named it a micro dish for extra fluids onto the actual LickiMat.
So clever. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I got to keep up with all of our product features. There's a lot.
Yeah. So have you got any beans to spill of anything new coming soon?
We do. We've got some very interesting stuff in the range of a yogi pot. That's all I can say for now. We're sort of looking at that space. We have seen, as we were talking now, quite a large upturn in interest in cat products. So there's definitely something coming on the cat side. We have a very strong range of cat products. I think it's just in our DNA as a brand to start to just stay ahead and keep innovating and creating another product. It's easy for us to do. We've based our entire brand on doing that. So we enjoy it and it's a good thing for us. And we, as I said, we're using the feedback of users. So it's really just listening to the end user and trying to apply some of that and give them what they've asked for. I mean, that's really the goal behind it. We only just released these crate mates. So I mean, that was earlier this year. South Africa, we actually got them first out of anywhere else. I flew in a bunch of cartons from China direct from our factory. Everyone else had to wait for containers. So we got a couple of hundred units of these. I mean, all I did is I got every single color. I think I got 100 units of every single color, which was quite lacquer, and all the styles and sizes. So we sort of selling them off and giving them away one at a time. None of the stores are really ordering, but a lot of the pet professionals and some of the vets are actually coming back with some fantastic feedback and have really enjoyed them. So, you know, we're definitely on a good thing.
I'm just thinking, like the vet physios, it's like a no-brainer for them to have that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Groomers, especially mobile groomers, vet physios. What is it called? The hydrotherapists. They're often using the UFO as well as the crate mates, depending on what they've got to attach things with. Vets, you'd be surprised. A lot of vets, they just need a LickiMat in the practice on the table, and I mean, every vet I go see, you know, I show them this. Oh, this is a brilliant product. You know, why haven't I seen this thing? I'm like, come on, let's give you one or two, try it out. As soon as the vet has tried it out, they're sold. They're done. You know, and I say, just take one for your practice, stick it on your table and use it. And then he says, okay, I need more. I need 3 or 4. So they're just rotating, you know, they're going them through. So every time they've got a patient there, they just load it up a little bit. You've got a very calm, very distracted patient. They don't have to worry about sedatives, you know, and it's a tricky job. You know, you're dealing with a lot of volatile, high emotion, stress animals. So, you know, there's massive benefit to using the products.
Yeah, the humans as well, hey? We get just as stressed. Maybe you should develop something for us.
Wow, we're going to
when we go to the vet.
Yeah. Oh, something to squeeze.
Maybe not. Yeah, just maybe I should just disappear again. Listen, Sacha,
No, please don't.
where can people buy these?
So, I mean, we in most pet and vet shops, you know, from small to franchise to the bigger ones. But most shops, you know, they order sort of 10, 12 SKUs. They're not quite like Retha that's got the full range behind them there on that stand. But otherwise, they can. The one thing that we offer on LickiMat.co.za on our e-commerce platform is we have developed bundles for specific applications. So if you've got a new puppy, we've got a puppy bundle. We've got a puppy deluxe bundle. If you know you're coming home with a little Weimaraner or something and you know you're going to have your hands full for a little while or something, it's a great way to start. Introduce them early. We've got the Naughty Chewer bundle. So it comes with a bunch of Tuffs and a bunch of keepers to hold the Tuff. So there's no carrying mats around. There's no chance they're going to, you know, go through them. So we've created these bundles. It's a great way of saving, and it's also a great way of having a small variety of products that you can try and use for the right application. Also, we hold every SKU that is available in our warehouse available, you know, to purchase. Whereas shops, they're generally holding, you know, maybe 9, 10, 12 SKUs. We've got about 70 or almost 80 SKUs now. So we're sitting with a lot more variety, color, style, sizes. Some of them, you know, we only have 50, 60 units left because we stopped giving them to the shops because they'll just get us, we'll be sold out in a week, but we rather keep them for our customers that are really looking for something specific. So we like to make sure we've got everything available for someone that does need it and not just to fill a shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can have a look at LickiMat. You just type in LickiMat.com or LickiMat.co.za. It should automatically take you to our South Africa page. If not, you just say shop and it'll tell you, you know, which shop you can go shop at and go to South Africa. Yeah. And another thing I did want to mention for anyone who is listening, or if anyone speaks to anyone and is being asked about LickiMat, we've got this platform. We don't really promote it or openly share it on socials and things, but it's LickiMat.info. And all it really does is it breaks down all the different products, all the different surfaces, big, small, Tuff, keeper, cat, etc. So it's just a port of call for anyone who's sort of like, where do I start? Which product is which? You know, I have a big dog. I have a small dog. I want to feed, you know, my dog's eating more raw, my dog's eating more, I have to give purees only. Then you start getting creative. It's got recipes. So it's a little community-based information sharing platform, but we're sort of feeding it as it goes. It always needs work. So we're always looking for more things to put on and share and update. And yeah, so it's just a great port of call for anyone that is interested to delve into it.
Okay, great. Well, I'll definitely go have a look there. You're also going to spoil our viewers a little bit, I believe, with a discount code.
Yes.
Cool.
If you would like to go shopping on LickiMat.co.za, you are welcome to use the code 40, and that'll give you 40% off anything on LickiMat.co.za shop. So you can go for it.
Get your skates
on. I haven't limited it to bundles or anything like that. So that's a real score. So if you really want to go for it, and it's only going to be valid until Friday night. So you've got a few days to check it out, shop, get what you need. You can share the code if you want. I'm not precious about it. I rather let people have the LickiMats and the pets get the benefits instead of missing out. So yeah. Have a go.
Cool beans. Yay, wowzers. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, no, I'll definitely be shopping just now.
And remember, also.
Yes. And there's going to be some promo coming your way soon, Retha, so you're going to be able to share. Sorry, I interrupted you.
So we will share that as well. And then for the last, but not the least, we've got a special for interacting with us tonight. So tell us, Sacha.
So we would like to offer
with our clients, with everybody that interacted, might there's going to be a lucky draw.
Yes. So we would like to offer a hamper to the value of 1,500 Rand. And this will be a customized hamper to one lucky attendee listener who needs a LickiMat and all sorts to go with it.
Cool.
We'll customize that depending on what is needed. So if it's a cat lover or a small dog owner or a medium or a large dog, we'll put together a hamper to the value of 1,500 Rand and send it to you. We just need to decide who we're going to give it to.
You better drop some good comments, guys. You've got like 2 minutes.
You've got about 2 minutes. Said about 2 minutes to give us the best comment, and then we will decide. We're going to need to get a very impartial person to decide here on who this is going to be. So, Sacha, this was really, really a very exciting chat and talk, and I really want to say thank you very much for coming and spend your hour with us. I'm sure our listeners loved it. We loved having you. We love the product. We love LickiMat, and we always like to collaborate with you guys because it is just something that is very dear to our hearts, and partners in crime, I would say.
Yes, the feeling is mutual. I'd like to give thanks and gratitude to the ongoing support, not only from the two of you, but obviously everyone else out there who's listening and who's been part of our journey. And we're here to stay. We've got lots more coming, and we're always here to support as well. So if there is a good cause out there that you feel like a LickiMat is needed, we are always here to listen, and hopefully we can help somewhere along the way. And yeah, we're easy to find. You can always get hold of us, and generally you're just going to be talking to me. So then at least you know who you're talking to now.
Yes, now they know who you are. And Annalise, I love that. Lickylicious. There's a new one for you, Lickylicious.
Maybe that's our new topper to go with our LickiMats. A little giveaway. We'll do a little special range. We'll chat to some. I know some dog food producers that could do a Lickylicious treat.
Who would that be?
That would be great. That's a very good idea. So thank you, everybody. I think that is our time and our call to say bye-bye. And thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us and giving your time to us and listening. Giveaway now when it will be announced soon. Keep your eyes up on the posts, and give your pets a cuddle from us tonight. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Antonette, and thank you, Retha.
It's my pleasure. I will make sure that all of the comments, I will drop the code onto all of the comments that we received as well, and just point them to the website. So if they want to go and browse, then they know where to go. But it was lovely to see you again, Sacha. It's always great to talk to you, and I hope you guys have a lovely evening.
Likewise. Same to you.
Great stuff. Good evening. Bye. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.